Hello, Internet. I'm Dr. Paul.
I'm Diet Dr. Paul.
I'm pleading with you. We are pleading. Please, please, please. As soon as this is over, go see the movie I Saw the TV Glow and explain it to us.
Hey, cue the clip.
I know this might sound crazy. I don't want to alarm you. Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called...
The Pinko Pig?
Yeah. Do you watch? Each episode, they help each other fight a new monster from across the county. But it's way too scary for most kids.
We're gonna defeat him this time. We're gonna need to harness the full potential of our shared powers.
Sometimes the Pinko Pig feels more real than real life.
Maddie, it was a TV show.
Are you sure that's all it was? I like girls, you know that, right?
Totally, that's fine.
What about you? Do you like girls?
I think that I like TV shows.
It's our destiny.
How can I have a destiny?
Something's wrong. This isn't how life is supposed to feel. Tell me you know it's true.
Maddie, it's just the suburbs.
Seems like you're always somewhere else lately.
Maddie disappeared without a trace. All they found was her TV set burning in the backyard. I told myself I made the right choice. What if I really was someone else? Very far away on the other side of a television screen.
Yes. So we just got back from seeing I Saw the TV Glow. A24. What did you know about this film going into it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I did see something that people were saying is one of the best horror movies in a long time.
Yes, I saw that it was a strange movie and it was different and it just looked interesting.
Did you think it was strange and different?
I did. I'll say this. The good. It's a pretty film. It's well shot, technically well made, good sound design, great acting job, especially the lead does a good job. But I don't know what I just saw. It was an hour and a half movie, and I felt like we were still in the beginning about an hour into it.
And I thought it ended 4 times.
Yeah, you're thinking like this is the last scene. Oh, so it's very, very different in that.
It is. And I echo what you're saying. The casting on this is amazing. The set design, cinematography, something you don't see. I don't think I've ever said this about a movie before, but the lighting on this was absolutely surreal. The scenes where it's just like it's dusky and it's like, and in the summertime when you're young and the days are longer kind of stuff, it just has all of that. There's a scene in a grocery store with produce and just the way that it's lit, and you had the sign up there with the cutouts of the fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
It just, the entire thing is surreal. The color palette that's in it, it's visually just is kind of amazing. In short, it's a story about 2 individuals who watch a TV show, and it really is like, well, what's real and what's not real? And it's, I think sometimes is it about mental illness? I think, is it about this newer generation? I think, I think you had said in the car that it is for a new generation.
It's Videodrome for a new generation.
I kind of get that.
A
but
new
I don't
approach.
understand it. I really don't.
Yeah, like I said, visually, a very pretty film to look at. I was enjoying it the whole time, even though I don't know that I was what I was watching. So a quality, a good time, but not perfect.
Right.
So what's the bad?
There are points in which it's difficult to follow. And there were points at which I couldn't understand exactly what they were saying, which I kept wanting to put the subtitle button on that. It felt overly long, especially the last act, the last third of the film felt like to me that it could have been edited a little bit more. There's some scenes in the scene where the female protagonist and they're in an inflatable dome, and that goes on way too long as she's describing, and it's like that's when I'm thinking the wheels are come off the wagon here. What is it that I'm but at that point I'm thinking, okay, is
Interesting. Yeah. For everything good about it, again, and I ask this a lot of films lately, why? What ground are we covering? What information are we getting now that's new? What's the purpose of this film? And again, if I start my review with it's Videodrome for a new generation, then we're not covering any new ground. It is Videodrome. It's very much Videodrome. It's just taking it to a newer level with the ability of cinematography and special effects, and because this is a small budget film, it's not a big budget film, but it's visually breathtaking. It's just, again, what are we getting out of this? And I don't think I got much out of it. We both looked at each other at the end. We don't know what it's about. And I get that it's about a wild ride and it's about perception and psyche and how does your mind deal with tragedy, but it doesn't say anything.
Well, you said something on the way back from the theater, and we just walked in the house, that just to me now makes sense. Because you're saying, I'm kind of afraid of the world we're living in and where it's going. I think this movie was made by and for a much younger generation. And I would assume, I don't know, I've never, the filmmaker, I don't know what her intent was, but I get the impression that for young people today, it's a gloomy future. It's a gloomy outlook. If you look at the world, and it's everything from global warming to political division to debt, that is reflected, that miasma, that sort of depression about like, what's it all about? Is it worth even living? The protagonist in this leaves and disappears and goes to another place and changes her name. And then she said she was going to go and change her name and live somewhere else. It is that sense of unrest that is, and that's probably the best word for me to describe the film. The whole thing is unrest kind of thing. There's no peace in this with the characters. Good things happen, parties and celebrations. It just does. It feels empty, and maybe that's sort of the sign of this new generation. I don't know. I'm really interested in somebody.
Yeah, I would, for younger people that see this, I'd like to know seriously, what did you get something more from it than I did because you understood it more?
The last thing I would say. Is it a horror movie?
That's another thing. I don't think it is. And I can't believe I didn't think about that, because I remember watching this film and I remember getting close to the end of the credits and thinking to myself, I thought this was supposed to be a horror film, or at least like a thriller, but it's not. I think that you could say that it's about a man devolving into madness, but it's no more a horror film than Amadeus is.
It's the most horrific thing in it was the ice cream cone at the beginning that had stuff coming out of its mouth, and that, it's ice cream gore.
Yeah.
In some ways, this is a very depressing version of Field of Dreams. It's a fantasy kind of stuff, but not towards we're all going to live happily ever after. I mean, the male protagonist, I mean, his mom, I think it's cancer, obviously she dies, and then the dad dies. And what was interesting, and I meant to ask, is that they take the old TV set out. TVs are very important in this movie.
They're very symbolistic.
Yeah. And he puts it on the outside, in the front for the trash to pick up. And then a new television is delivered, and he says something about, I have lots of family now, and it's like, who is that? Because you expected it to go in, and he's going to have, his wife and his three little kids, but is he saying, because he says it in front of this big screen television that's just delivered, is that
Well,
his
I
friends,
think
his family?
the little bit that I was able to pull from this is that in this search for family and friends through this girl that he knew, I think that he found family and friends in the search, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like as he searched for her in the bowels of this old TV show by rewatching episodes, that's where he found family. And so maybe it's the characters in the TV show. Maybe. I don't know. They didn't lean into it very hard, but I know what you're talking about. And I thought the same thing. There's something with the TVs to this that I need to pay attention to more.
You gonna watch it again?
No. Maybe. We'll see.
If somebody would explain it to me and
Yes.
say, well, you maybe, I did go to the bathroom a couple of times, and
But you
I
were
kept
back pretty
thinking,
quick.
yeah,
Nothing. No narrative things were like struck in this period of time.
I was so praying that when we left the theater, you'd say, Dad, you missed the 2 key plot points that explain the whole thing.
It didn't. It didn't happen. Nothing happened.
Well, tell us what you think.
Yes.
And
On a scale from 1 to 10.
I would give
Get
it, it's form follows function.
Mm-hmm.
And the form I would give an 8. Function, I give it a 4.
Perfect. That's what I was going to say. I would give it a 6 out of 10, which is right 6 out of 10. Yeah, I think that maybe someone younger is going to enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But
We'll see you
at the movies.
again, hopefully.